Okay, from the first shade that I'm going to be using from this Coastal Scents eyeshadow palette is the shade Orange. This eye palette does not have the shades doesn't have names, so basically I'm just going off what my eyes see. So this first shade is Orange that I'm going to be using in my crease, and as you guys can see, I am using a blending brush and I am going in the shape of the cut crease that I am going for. The next shade that I am using is Red, and I am going to blend that in with the orange just to deepen it up a little bit more. Now with a pencil brush, I am going into my MAC Beauty Mark Velvet, and this is a single eyeshadow pot that I purchased from the MAC store. It's a matte shade with just a little bit of shimmer, so I'm just going to take my pencil brush and also go into my crease, deepen my crease a little bit more. So just going to take a blending brush and blend that out. So I don't want any harsh lines with this cut crease at all. Now I'm going to take my NYX concealer and I'm going to start forming my cut crease. And I'm using a really small brush. It's not the brush that I would usually use. I really couldn't find the brush that I usually use, but also, I just want to add that this Coastal Scents 252 eyeshadow palette that I am using is very, very pigmented. This is actually the very first eyeshadow palette that I purchased when I very first got into makeup. So it's not bad for your very first palette. Now I am going back into the 252 palette and I am using 2 shades of blue. This first blue I am using is like almost a royal blue, and I'm just going to pat that all over my eyelid. Pat it all over where I applied the concealer to form the cut crease. Now I am going in with a more shimmer vibrant blue, and I am going to pat that on the top of the royal blue. Now using my Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Eyeliner. This glitter is shade Midnight Cowboy. I'm going to continue to cut my crease with that, just to add a little bit more sparkle to the look. Now taking my ankle brush with concealer on it, I am just going to shape the wing of my cut crease. It's just one of the hacks that I do to clean up my cut crease a little. I know some people use makeup wipes, but I pretty much use concealer. I feel like it's easier for me to shape it in the way that I want. The foundation that I'm using to cover my face is Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation. I'm actually using two different shades. The first shade is Deep Warm 71 and the other one is Deep Neutral 78. And I'm using a powder brush to blend that. This powder brush that I'm using is pretty firm, so it's actually getting the job done. I would normally use a beauty blender to blend my foundation, but this foundation is kind of thick and it's also full coverage. Now for concealer, guys, you have to excuse my camera. It did go out of focus a few parts, but hopefully the most important part you guys captured, which is the eye look. But anyway, the concealer that I'm using is Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and this shade is Deep. I'm just going to apply that under my eyes, on my cheekbones, connected to my cupid's bow, on my nose, forehead, and on my chin. And to set my highlight, I am using Sasha's Buttercup setting powder, my favorite setting powder. Like I said before in my other videos, I do like this better than the Benet setting powder. And this powder is also flash friendly. It doesn't leave the whole powdery, cakey look when you're taking your pictures with the flashing camera. Now for contour, I am using the Tarte Contour Palette, and I'm using the darkest shade to create a contour along my cheekbones and around my forehead also. And I'm also going to bronze up my cheeks too a little with the bronzer. The palette comes with a bronzer, contour, highlight, and I think blush. So I'm using the deepest bronzer that they have, and then I'm also going along my forehead with that as well. And I'm using the bronzer to contour my nose. Now that I applied my lashes, guys, I am using Beauty Mark Velvet on my lash line to complete this eye look. And I'm using a smaller pencil brush to do so. Also going to be using the orange shade to smoke it out a bit. As well as the red shade, and I am going to be using the same blending brush that I use for my cut crease along my lash line, and the shade was red. Now for highlight, I am using Jeffree Star's Dark Horse. Now for lips, I am using a copper tone lip liner. I forgot the brand, but I will put the brand down in the description box for you guys. I'm just gonna line my lips with the lip liner to prepare my lips for the bright shaded lipstick that I'm gonna be using for this look. The lipstick I've chosen is from Colored Rain, and the shade is Suede. Now in the Coastal Scents palette, I am going to be taking the yellow shade and I am going to put that in the inner part of my eye, the corner of my eye, just to pop this eye look a little bit more. Well, that completes this eye tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed this makeup look. If you guys did, do not forget to leave your comments in the comments box. Subscribe, like, share, and don't forget to tell your friends. Thank you guys again.